news broke yesterday afternoon concerning the deadly Ebola virus. It's where we start this Wednesday edition of our show. The hemorrhagic fever has made it to U.S. shores. When we talked about this before, it was when Americans were diagnosed with the deadly disease in West Africa, where the outbreak is, and then brought to the U.S. for treatment. Not this time. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says a patient being treated at a hospital in Dallas, Texas, is the first diagnosed in the U.S. with the hemorrhagic fever. The patient had recently traveled to West Africa and developed Ebola symptoms after getting home. In August, CNN's Dr. Sanjay Gupta traveled to the CDC's Command Center for Ebola.
This is the CDC's Emergency Operations Center. Think of it as the nerve center of its response to the Ebola outbreak. Just a few minutes after I walked in, phones and BlackBerry started buzzing everywhere.
While we were here, the activation level just went up to level 1, just in the last couple minutes. What does that mean?
What that means is just more people and more resources dedicated to the response.
In that room, you could feel a quiet determination and a sense of urgency.
Let me give you a little bit of an idea of how this all works. What you're looking at is what the CDC looks at, a map of the world, trying to figure out what infectious diseases are happening and where they're happening. As you might imagine, a lot of focus on Ebola right now. They're tracking that as well, real time. They've been doing it since March. Take a look in here. This really jumped out at me. Mid-May, they thought things were basically under control. But then look what happens at the beginning of June. Everything takes off.
This is our Emergency Operations Center, or EOC as we call it. And
Dr. Stephen Monroe is helping lead the CDC's Ebola response. Not an easy task at all.
Was there mistakes made? I mean, is there a reason why this outbreak is worse than any other outbreak in history?
the initial event, the lightning strike, if you will, was right in this corner between 3 countries in a very remote part of each of those countries.
The original mission of the U.S. Secret Service, stop counterfeit currency. It's broadened quite a bit since 1865, and an incident involving the government agency was the focus of a hearing yesterday. 5 things to know about this, starting with security at the White House. There are 5 rings of that. Surveillance officers patrolling the outside fence, officers in guard booths, attack dogs to run down intruders, SWAT teams that can swarm if needed, and uniformed guards at the doors. That brings us to the second point. Secret Service officials say Omar Gonzalez, a 42-year-old veteran of the Iraq War, got by all of the outside security measures on September 19th. He allegedly jumped the fence and ran across the lawn to the door of the executive mansion. He reportedly overpowered a Secret Service agent and got deep inside the White House before he was tackled and subdued by off-duty officers inside the building. Gonzalez was carrying a knife. President Obama had left the White House a few minutes beforehand. Third point, originally the Secret Service praised its officers for showing, quote, tremendous restraint during the incident. At a hearing yesterday, one congressman said restraint isn't what's needed.
If you project weakness, it invites attacks. We want to see overwhelming force. If a would-be intruder cannot be stopped by a dog or intercepted by a person, perhaps more lethal force is necessary, and I want those Secret Service agents and officers to know at least this member of Congress has their back. Don't let somebody get close to the president. Don't let somebody get close to his family. Don't let them get in the White House, ever.
Fourth point, the president says he has full confidence in the Secret Service's ability to prevent this in the future. Its director appeared in front of a congressional committee yesterday.
It's clear that our security plan was not properly executed. This is unacceptable, and I take full responsibility, and I will make sure that it does not happen again.
Fifth point, this is not the first breach of security at the White House. There are fence jumpers every year. An uninvited civilian couple once crashed a state dinner. Gunshots hit the building, damaging it in 2011. But the agency has protected the president from an untold number of incidents. And Director Pearson says she'll bring it up to a level of performance that matches its vital mission. Police and government officials in Hong Kong have told thousands of protesters to go home. They haven't. They want China's government to completely stay out of an upcoming election. It won't. The result? A standoff. Hong Kong is not independent. Officially, it's a special administrative region of China. China promised in the past not to impose its communist economic policies on Hong Kong's free market economy. But Hong Kong's chief executive, its highest civil leader, was selected by a committee loyal to China. And China announced last month that it would only allow candidates it approves to run in Hong Kong's 2017 election.
There are a lot of people here occupying downtown Hong Kong, a virtual sea of humanity that's been chanting slogans like resign, that's directed against the chief executive, the top official in Hong Kong, C.Y. Lung, who's a particular target of anger here. And the other demand that people make again and again and again is for what they call universal suffrage. They want true, free and fair elections in 2017 when there are projected to be elections. The signs up, the banners up, call for this true democracy, and this crowd is overwhelmingly young. The young people around me saying they're 20, 21, 22 years old for the most part. University students who are boycotting school until their demands for more democratic system here in Hong Kong are met. And it's important to note that the government here in Hong Kong and the Chinese central government have all declared that these protests are illegal. And by that definition, all of these people here are effectively criminals. But that's not really forcing, and that's not really changing the morale of this enormous crowd of people standing up and demanding democratic rights.
Miami, Florida is more than just an awesome city. It's where we kick off today's CNN Student News. Roll call! Florida Christian School is watching, and we're glad to see the Patriots this first day in October. Jumping up north to New Hampshire, David R. Cawley Middle School is on our roll. The Hawks are circling over Hooksett. And we're headed to Iowa to check in with Abraham Lincoln High School. We're welcoming the Lynx of Council Bluffs. Thank you all for watching. Not all good jobs require a 4-year college degree. Surveyors and electrical technicians, for instance, can earn $55,000 a year or more. Dental hygienists, which may have a 2-year associate's degree, can make upwards of $70,000. If you do go to college, though, not all majors mean money. New research says lifetime earnings of people with drama or psychology majors are near the lowest. Earnings of those with engineering majors are highest, around $2 million total before retirement. Our diving well at the University of Georgia, I think it was around 17 feet. I thought that was deep. This one's the deepest man-made pool ever. It's located at an Italian hotel. It plunges 42 meters, about 138 feet into the deep blue. Why? The hotel hopes it'll attract scuba divers and free divers, and it'll keep them pretty comfortable. The 1.1 million gallons of water are heated by thermal springs. It's so deep, it's got a viewing tunnel. Of course, being viewed could put pressure on the divers themselves. If they hesitate, viewers could ask, "What are you waiting for?" They could feel like they're in too deep before they're in the deep. Thankfully, showing off's not their H2 only reason for taking the plunge. CNN Student News surfaces again tomorrow. No need to hold your breath.